From the makers of What is a Woman and the new top 5 box office hit comedy Am I Racist comes a brand new Daily Wire animated series for the entire family. Real, actual things Matt Walsh has said.
Maybe this is more dramatic than what we've heard in before. When no one's actually said, it's over for us, we're done. Our race of people, we're singing our swan song right now. We're the last of the Mohicans, the last of the Anglos. It's not that we're just, as the Mexicans come in, we magically meld with them and become like them. It's not like that. It's that we are dying off, just like any other species of animal does. We're dying, and that's what's happening with us. The extinction of the Anglo-Saxon race is just like that.
Are you Hitler?
If you love the Timu Borat comedy stylings of Sweet Daddy Walsh, then you'll love watching the real things he said out loud get brought to life thanks to the magic of animation and billionaire petroleum investors. There's Matt Walsh giving his thoughts on kids and their dating life.
So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, it's always been that way. Even biologically, and this is me just stating, right now I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number 1, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number 2, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for, the first 6,000 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing. Fact 3, girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
The fuck?
There's Matt Walsh talking about slavery.
In fact, it seems rather clear that Black Americans are doing better here today than they would be had their ancestors generations ago never been brought to these shores. We can prove this point by simply asking which African country anyone asking for reparations would prefer to live in. The answer, of course, is none of them. It also ignores the fact that Africans participated in slavery and the slave trade as much as they were victims of it. Actually, what we can say is that we'd all end up worse. All of us today would be in a worse spot if slavery never existed at all across the entire globe.
And who can forget when Matt Walsh defended notorious pedophiles like Josh Duggar, Cardinal McCarrick, or all the s***ers in the Catholic Church?
So in the 60s, you've got a bunch of homosexuals who start to join the priesthood, and the priesthood becomes a haven for homosexuality. And then around that same time, you've got a bunch of teenage boys who are being by priests. When those accusations started coming out, and then all this other information about Cardinal McCarrick came out, most of the stories that have come out about him revolve around his sexual exploits with seminarians. And seminarians are grown men in their 20s. So it's probably true that he was and sting boys, but we know that he was also involved in a lot of sexual activity with grown men.
After all, even if Matt Walsh is toning down his rhetoric to try and appear more mainstream, we should never forget that he's a white supremacist extremist who's reveled in targeting children's hospitals, doctors, and nurses alongside libs of TikTok that eventually led to mass bomb threats.
Today on the Matt Walsh Show, children's hospitals around the country are butchering, mutilating, and sterilizing their young patients. So according to Boston Children's Hospital, literally every toddler who has ever been born or will ever be born is trans. Now, if it seems like they're casting the widest imaginable net in order to catch the most children they can and put them all on a path to sterilization and butchery before they can even talk, well, that's because that's exactly what these monsters are doing. And they've done it up until this moment without much resistance from the public. But that has to end. We have to stop making it so easy on them. And that's why I'm in the very early stages of trying to organize a national coordinated effort to fight back against this evil. It's really just a matter of where do we begin? Maybe we begin at Boston Children's Hospital.
Boston Children's Hospital says its staff is being threatened and harassed now after far-right activists on social media posted misinformation, claiming they perform gender-affirming hysterectomy procedures on young girls. The hospital says it's not true. They do not perform those procedures for anyone under the age of 18.
The same man who also profited from selling dolls of himself in a diaper directly marketed to children.
Sweet Baby Gang has a special name for you.
They do.
They do.
Sweet Daddy Walsh is what they call me.
Sweet
That's my official name.
Daddy Walsh.
while hosting hate rallies that directly make kids' lives more unsafe. A man with a history of hosting diaper wrestling competitions with literal nuts. Yeah, Matt Walsh sure is a far-right extremist. No matter how much he tries to apply costumes or masks, some would say it's actually journalistic malpractice not to consider his incredibly documented history of extremism before entertaining a single thing that he says or produces. But not us, because we're bottom-feeding scumfucks who want to profit off minorities getting attacked and making LGBTQ plus kids' lives scarier. You know, for money. Real, actual things Matt Walsh has said, coming exclusively to the Daily Wire, unless that clown who smells like old shoes has even more money to burn on some worthless property. If you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.